Hello and welcome to Alchemist Whim. I am Alchemist Jen. Thanks for joining me on this fine day. I hope you enjoy my kazoo music because I make it up in the moment. I have no idea what I'm going to play even as I'm playing it. It's amazing. I do have some thoughts on getting more instruments from Kazoo because that just sounds really fun. So let me know if any of them sound interesting. I was thinking about an ocarina because playing a fluty thing sounds kind of fun, and it's an ocarina and it just reminds me of Zelda. So I can't help it. So being a total nerd. Anyway, so I did some dyeing. I have some of them hanging behind me. So I was going to show you a couple pieces just because it was really fun. I did just some muck dyeing. So I just took a tub and did a little bit of a pre-soak with some soda ash in the water, just so that the fibers could all collect that goodness and then potentially be able to absorb as much dye as possible and connect that with the just the fibers in the dye. So creating that bond is beautiful. I'm not as eloquent as I wish I could be at this point. My brain is lacking oxygen, but that's okay. I'm still here. I'm still smiling. Let's have fun. So I have pieces, and I'm also working on kind of a dress form to showcase these on. I was thinking that like a stuffed creature would be very awesome, and it sounds like a very me thing to do. So I'm trying to decide what kind of creature would work. So if you have any thoughts, drop me a line, let me know. I'm open to anything. Just trying to figure out what would be an interesting shape and something that's kind of funny. So let me know, and I could do a couple different sizes too eventually. I definitely just want to start out with one. So here's a tank top that I had. These are clothing that were given me for the purpose of dyeing, so very, very fun. And cotton, linen, flax, those kind of fibers that these are all going to be from various makes. So a lot of them are thrifted initially as well. So, and this is something that I was kind of hoping to do eventually anyways, to do some thrifted clothing. So it kind of works in line with what I want to do. It just gives me a head start. You know, someone else kind of innocently giving me a nudge in that direction is kind of cool. It's affirming. So here's another one. Boink. Show you both sides because I do that. That sleeve is fantastic. So yeah, so I've got some clothing, working on that. Some of them I might print on as well too, but a lot of them are just really cool, just dyed. So I'm good with that. So I'll see if any of them spark, you know, imagination to have printing on them too. But I usually get stuck, at least in my brain, you know, just leaving them as dyed because I think it's really cool. So we'll see what happens. Anything's possible, and I mean, it would be cool to have some things that are both. If I can get past just the dye and its magnificence. So I think as I talk a little bit, again, not having the best breathing day, I might yawn a little bit, so I apologize for that. I'm working on dyeing some more fiber. I've got the first batch drying right now. I washed it this morning, and then I have the next batch going, so I'm on the last 2 pans for the night, and then I'll have a full rainbow of fiber plus one that's a gradient of all of them. So very exciting. My first time doing single colors for whole braids, and then so basically that I just did. Normally I do like two braids in a pan, squish them together. That's how I did this, was 2 braids in a pan. But I decided to just do 1 per so that I wouldn't have weird crossover between the 2. and would create just this nice solidarity throughout. So I still ended up with quite a bit of variation because of the way I just wanted to. I tend to dye. I tend to dye with some variety. I guess I like a bit of the dramatic, so it does have a little bit of that in there. Hopefully that is not a deterrent for how it's going to be used, but I don't think it is. I think it's going to have, I think that's going to be good for felting kits. So end up with some unique elements to it. The colors are there. Some of them are just more intense than other areas. So I'm just spinning. Spin, spin, spin. That's fun about drop spindles. You can take it anywhere, do it anytime, and it is awesome. A little overspun there in the last batch. Didn't realize it till I took it off. So I might try to capture some of that twist. So this is fancy work. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. So oh, good. I think that'll be fine. I think I definitely want to ply this. I think it's going to be fun to see that plied up. Some two-tone action going on there would be really cool. Fancy yarn. So we'll see how that goes, and then I'll have to learn how to ply from a drop spindle. So that's a good thing. I like to learn how to do that. I haven't done that. I've just done mostly singles on drop spindle, and then I got my wheel, and then I learned how to ply from there, which is fun as well. I like plying. Is fun. I feel like I haven't done enough spinning in my life in general, so I definitely need to spin more. My wheel is also an unfinished Ashford Kiwi, so I definitely need to finish it. I'd love to paint it and add glitter because that's my thing. I also think when I had first gotten my wheel, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it, but now I think I'm a little bit more established in who I am, I guess, as a creative person. I've got my own creativity going on here with all my bright colors and sparkly things, so I have an idea of where I want to go with it, so I might have fun with it. You'll see here, I'll show you some of my anecdotes. It doesn't work too well to show a spinning wheel on such a small kind of a set that I have here, but I might still do some sort of tutorials as well. I'd like to do tutorials. I think I talked about this recently as well, want to do some zines, tutorial zines, because they just work really well as a medium, being able to have little booklets with information in them, and they're still popular, so I figure why not make some zines. Sounds like a good idea. So spin, spin, spin. And wrap, wrap, wrap. Fuzziness. It's fun. I like spinning. I need more fiber. So take off more of a hunk of the braid. Get into a little bit of different tone to it, and then also need to open it up a little bit more, which is cool. So basically just opening it up gets a lot of more air in there, makes it easier to segment into smaller pieces, at least that for how I like to spin it. I find it's a little easier, especially with a chunky yarn. My chunky piece there, it's not coming off. I grab too much and try to pull. There we go. So yeah, so dyeing fiber, I need to dye more fabric. So I have the fabric that I'm going to switch out for my backdrops for these videos, all set and ready to go. It's all folded, ready to dye. I was going to try to dye it tonight or even last night, and I felt like I just needed to slow down a little bit. So I did. I took a little bit more of a break, and then I'll do it when it makes a little bit more sense from my schedule. So I'm going to do, like, when you start a dye, and then you have to plan for when you're going to be able to finish the processing, because basically, like, I have to plan for how I start it and then how I finish it. So 24 hours later, is there enough time to do the end part, which is washing it, and do a pre-wash in the sink that's my washing, and then I'll stick the whole thing in. Well, for clothing at least, I stick the whole thing in the washing machine and run a wash cycle that way to get more of the dye out, but then I can also dry it in the dryer too. So I think that makes life a lot easier for processing fiber or fabrics and clothing, and then they like that. So it's easier than the fiber and the yarn dyeing. I don't have a dryer yet that works for that. So yeah, that's what's up today. I'm talking about fibers and fabric dyeing. That's the whim of the day. I don't think I even said that at the beginning of the thing. I just jumped in about some other thing, musical instruments, which I do think I need to do. And I think that would be really fun, have a nice little collection. And I like kazoo and what they stand for, and it'd be cool to support them more with other instruments. Alright, I've probably prattled on enough. I've done some spinning. I've talked about clothing and fiber. I got a little bit more time on these heating for the dye. So then I'll leave it overnight and I'll wash them in the morning. What that does is it allows it to cool, but then also to allow it for full absorption of the dye too. So some of the dye particles might not like it as hot. So we'll let them finish in the cool bath as well. So yay for color. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you continue to have a good day, or will start to have a good day. It's been great having you. We'll see what the room takes us tomorrow. Toodaloo.